This is light of any lamp.
Welcome back, all you efflorescent souls, to my little corner of the internet, to light of any lamp. Today's hot take: you're wrong about a lot of stuff, and I'm happy about that. So it gets said often enough, and for good reason, people don't like to be wrong, people hate being wrong, it's very awkward, it's very frustrating, it's very uncomfortable, it can be even a little humiliating at times. But while that's true, it's also true that none of that is true, because being wrong actually doesn't feel like anything. You and I are both wrong about tons of stuff, probably some important stuff, right now. It feels like nothing at all. It feels awfully the same as being right, actually. If you're wrong when you're by yourself, you're reading a book, listening to a podcast, having a conversation with someone you're close enough with, being wrong, realizing something new, and getting to correct yourself can actually be quite pleasant. There's a eureka moment there that has a lot of joy with it, really. What definitely can make being wrong suck quite a bit is depending on the environment you're in, the crowd that you're in, because it's your ego that's unhappy. You lose face, you lose credibility, you lose potency with the people in whom you're talking to, at least potentially, or the fear of it's there, and it's really the ego that doesn't like being wrong, because there's multiple times when you're wrong that are actually quite enjoyable. I bring this up and worry about this for two reasons. One, because if nobody speaks about important things unless they feel really sure, you have a whole bunch of people that probably should be talking about something and would benefit from talking about things they care about and wonder about, and that begins to diminish. And also because it results in the only people who are talking are now the ones that are absolutely certain about themselves, which in some cases is good, and in the other cases, it also reminds me of the internet, and that's a little less than ideal, let's say. And in this spirit of getting along, talking to each other, opening up, feeling love and adoration for one another and our fellow men across mankind, and all that stuff, I would like to tweak a bit, to nudge a bit, how we view being wrong. There's a psychological cycle that you may have experienced in your own life, either from those around you, or from your own internal psychological states, that for whichever one of these actually starts things off, there is a reluctance of some people to say, I don't know, or admit when they're wrong. And there's also a tendency of when somebody gets to be right and show someone else is wrong, take a little too much pleasure in that, and jump like a hungry bobcat on someone who is wrong, which then recreates the cycle of not wanting to admit when you're wrong, much in the same way that if, say, you get whacked with a ruler every time you get a math question wrong, you are certainly not going to want to get math questions wrong, or at least admit to getting them wrong. And though there is some short-term efficacy there, overall, I'll say it's not really solving the problem that you're wanting to solve. Now, to put all this in a bigger perspective, and because I really enjoy the history of science, and I will be shamelessly tagging it off and on throughout these videos, there are handfuls of examples, only a few of which I will grab from. One being the idea of geocentrism, the idea that the Earth is at the middle of our universe, and more importantly, stationary, because we had a lot of good reasons, a lot of philosophical and scientific reasons, and experiential reasons, to not think that the Earth is moving super fast through space. One being, it doesn't seem like the planet is moving super fast through space, and two, a phenomenon that was not observed called stellar parallax, that everyone agreed you would have seen if the planet were moving, which is essentially what happens when you're driving along the highway and the fence posts seem like they're going really fast, but the cow in the distance doesn't seem like it's going so fast, like that, but with stars. And it was agreed across the board, from pre-Roman Greek times all the way to the end of the naked eye observers with Kepler, that if the Earth were moving, you would get stellar parallax, and that this was not observed. It turns out it's just because stars are way farther away than we thought they were, and that's why it's not observed. And we needed telescopes to be able to tell this, but it was a very reasonable, logical, and valid set of beliefs that led to this. Likewise, even in the lifetime of Darwin, it was criticized for his mechanism for evolution, which was trying to supplant Lamarckian evolution, to be a little quick and simple about it, as how evolution goes, what the mechanism of it is. And even Darwin in his lifetime admitted that this was a problem, that being, there's not enough time in the history of the Earth to have all the slow and natural changes that would be necessary in his system. On Darwin's half, he just thought this was a problem that we would solve, which as far as I currently understand it, we by and large have, but admitted that this was a problem with his system. Coming more contemporary still, we have the problem of, in the last half-century, whether photons act as a particle or act as a wave. And there were two different encampments amongst very smart people who had very good reasons to think what they thought. And between option A and option B, we got the very surprising option C, which is yes, because it's both. And if we understand why it's both or how it's both, I certainly don't, and you'll need a different YouTube video for that. Point being, everyone got to be wrong together. Kumbaya, isn't it nice? My general point in bringing this all up, besides my personal interest and because I get to do this kind of stuff, is that some very, very smart people were wrong about some very, very big things, and so you and I have no hope of avoiding being wrong. And that's okay, because being wrong is definitely part of the process. And with this, I hope will come somewhat a sense of relief about your self-assessment and your oh-so-proud ego in those moments that you're wrong, especially those public moments when you're wrong, more importantly. And along with, hopefully, some kind of sense of relief, also a sense of responsibility, because possibly more often than you are the speaker, you will be the listener and will be responsible for how you react to other people being seemingly wrong around you, because we don't get one without the other. So as always, I would like to end off with two quotes from the Baha'i writings. Humility exalteth man to the heaven of glory and power, whereas pride abaseth him to the depths of wretchedness and degradation. Search after truth means, also, that we must be willing to clear away all that we have previously learned, all that would clog our steps on the way to truth. We must not shrink, if necessary, from beginning our education all over again. We must not allow our love for any one religion or any one personality to so blind our eyes that we become fettered by superstition. When we are freed from all these bonds, seeking with liberated minds, then shall we be able to arrive at our goal. And with that, I'll see you next time, and we'll see how this goes.